So the way we're going to do ACT prep from this point on throughout quarter 3 is we're going to isolate the standards instead of doing them all together, all right? So this week, we're going to be focusing specifically on REL, which is relationships, all right? On your Cornell notes on the left-hand side, I want you to write the standard that we're going to be focusing on for the week of January 9th. It says REL 602, 605, 702, 603, and 703. And if you need to walk up, you may. Ain't no big of a deal. So this time, everyone should be writing that on the left-hand column of the Cornell note sheet. Now, this standard is comprised of you being able to understand implied or subtly stated comparative relationships in complex passages, identifying clear comparative relationships in highly complex passages, your ability to understand cause and effect relationships, and to ultimately lead to you understanding the subtleties and relationships between people, ideas, events, and so on virtually in any passage, all right? Make sure you copy down that print on the right-hand side of your Cornell notes. Yes, all of it. Try to abbreviate to save time, but you do need to copy this. These are your notes. Yep, a bullet. So this particular standard, relationships, is divided into two components. We have comparative relationships and we have cause and effect. Comparative is basically you comparing two ideals to one another. What similarities do they have? Whereas cause and effect is you trying to figure out what happened and what did it result in, okay? So anytime you come across a relationship question, that should kind of help guide your thinking as to how to answer it correctly, okay? It'll take about 30 seconds to copy this down. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm telling y'all, in college, they're gonna be like, next. I'm telling you. You're not. You're gonna learn the game. You're gonna learn the game.
Can't you record them?
If they allow it. If they allow it. My bad. I know, right? You're doing the most. And again, if you need to move up, you can. Take about 15 more seconds. All right, if you did not get all the information, make sure you get it from up here. Let me go ahead and move on. So, notes. Somebody read the voted print. Go ahead, I'll quick.
What are comparative relationships versus cause and effect questions on the ACT?
No. A comparative relationship is what, Gillespie?
Questions ask you to evaluate how two or more people viewpoints, events, theories, or so on and compare. They are certainly more higher level than detailed questions, but they aren't too scary. To get these questions right, you just need to understand the gist of two things.
Dope. So when it comes to a comparative relationship question, the author is going to be asking you to compare two different types of things, two or more types of things. So in this context, it says that they may ask you to evaluate two or more types of people, viewpoints, events, theories, and so on and so forth, all right? An example of that would be the following. According to the author, the significant difference between the director's opinion and the star's actor's opinion was what, okay? In this example, somebody identify the two things that are being compared by a show of hands. By a show of hands. Go ahead. So, the first one is the director's opinion versus the star actor's opinion, all right? two different ideals or two different opinions being compared to one another, all right? This is how a question is going to be framed if it's a comparative relationship question on an ACT passage, all right? Another example is, according to the passage, high school students today are different from teenagers in the past because of whatever the answer choices are. What are the things that are being compared in this example? Go ahead.
High school students today and teens.
So, high school students today in the present versus teenagers in the past. All right? So in this example, we have the high school students in the present day being compared to teenagers in the past. All right? And again, this is comparative relationships. Who can tell me what a comparative relationship is in their own words? Go ahead.
I believe it's asking like the difference between two different viewpoints of like different groups or specific
Two
people.
or more.
Yeah, two or more people or groups or whatever.
Oh, okay. Do we get this concept? Any questions? All right. So, moving on to cause and effect and sequence of events. Somebody read that. Go ahead.
Cause and effect. Cause, effect, and sequence of event questions both require you to understand what happened before something else or what happened to cause something else. These questions are like detailed questions in that the answer will be directly stated in the passage. The only thing you need to be careful about is realizing that the order events are discussed in the passage and is not necessarily the order in which they happen.
Oh, thank you so much for reading that. So, we just talked about comparative relationships, right? Now, transitioning into cause and effect is a little different because for this particular question, the answer choice is going to be directly stated in the passage as it's underlined. So as you're bless you. So as you're copying down this content, excuse me, I need you to pay special attention to this, all right? Because, excuse me, one of the answer choices will always be stated directly in the passage. So there's no need to search for it. There's no need to try to decode anything that isn't there. It will be directly stated in the passage, all right? As it relates to a cause and effect relationship question, okay? Another thing is that this particular question is very detail oriented, right? So you need to be very vigilant in picking out the specifics of what the question is asking you to look for, all right? In this example, it says the narrator conveys that her dismissal from her job directly resulted in the answer choices, all right? Who can tell me the cause and effect relationship in this example? Think about it before you give a response. You have to infer. Someone different.
Could you repeat the question?
Yes. Tell me the cause and effect relationship in this example.
Well, I mean, the cause is not stated, but the effect is that, the woman got dismissed from her first job.
So I can infer that something caused her to get dismissed, right? So there was a cause, there's implications of a cause being present within this, somewhere in the passage, which resulted in her doing what? Being dismissed or being fired from her job, right? And then the cause will be one of the answer choices, okay? And that goes back to inferencing. So you have to infer what that particular cause was, which will be directly stated in the passage, okay? As it relates to sequence of events, you're going to run across passages that have multiple events going on throughout the body of the text, okay? When it comes to sequential order, what does that mean? What does it mean to put things in its sequential order? Go check.
But like date when it happens,
So what?
like by date, like today, like Monday I did this, Tuesday I did this.
Okay, so like back to back, right? So a simple example of that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? These numbers are in the sequential order. The author may ask you, or you may need to, put events that are not specifically in its sequential order in its sequential order. Let me explain. So you may have 5 events that are going on in a passage, right? But the third event may be